It's paintball time on OLN with Division 1 XBallers. A one-on-one shootout and a trick mod for your marker. PB2X and PSP turning up the heat in Chicago. Turning up the heat in Chicago. Hey everybody, welcome to Paintball 2Xtremes. I'm James Bates, and I mean that, not just out there on the field. They're really turning up the heat. The weather wizards are calling this the hottest day in 3 years here in Chicago. The heat index going up into triple digits. It's a wonder that these things aren't just bursting from all the hot stuff going on around here. It's toasty even for a Florida boy. But you know, just like the postman, neither rain, nor heat, nor sleet, nor heat, nor snow, nor heat, nor heat, nor heat. We're bringing you the show, and it's a good one, too. Just ask Jen Pierce.
James, it is so hot out here. It's nice to get in the shade, but I cannot imagine what it's like for some of these players. They're all suited up in their gear. They got their equipment. Since today's show is about Division 1 XBall, the heat and the humidity must be the X factor that will determine the outcome. As usual, I'll be making predictions about the teams to watch, and I'll be checking in with some of the players on how they plan to handle the heat. So, let's get cooking. And bad joke.
Well, the PSP's been coming to Chicago for 12 years now. It's grown so much that over 200 teams are here for the Chicago Open this week, and I know that Keely Watson's very proud of that. She's the events promoter with PSP.
We're very excited. We have a ton of teams, great turnout. We've had tons of spectators out. It's turning out to be a great event.
Yeah, it's a hot event, too. Can't beat this heat.
It is. I know. We're trying to beat the heat, but it is a little bit warm.
This is a big event. Every event gets bigger and bigger because as you eye that prize at the end of the season, everybody's eyes on the World Cup.
Exactly. We're gearing up. We're expecting tons of teams this year, and it is going to be quite an event.
Over 300 this year, they say, for the World Cup. And we've got some teams here, some contenders in Division 1. Let's go check in with Jen right now.
Being the farm team for the Baltimore Trauma, Gridlock has a lot to live up to. But these guys have proven that it takes more than just talent to succeed in XBall. It takes heart.
It's all about heart.
Heart, Gridlock, heart! All heart, guys! All heart!
It just means that we're playing with everything we have. We want this more than anybody else. We practice harder than anybody else, and we try harder. We try harder at everything that we do better, to be better than everybody else.
As the captain of Gridlock, Roy Sears has the job of juggling the playing skills and managing a fairly large team.
We got a lot of bodies with us. We run 3 squads deep, and a lot of the teams don't. So we have, say, 17, 18 people on the team, and when we notice other teams don't have as much depth, we just try to run them in the ground.
Although the team has been around since 1997, it was essentially reformed back in November with revised goals and some young blood.
About 4 or 5 years or so on a team called Overload, and we moved on to a little bit better team called XSF. Then we got the opportunity to play with Gridlock. These guys are awesome, man. I was glad to be a part of it.
So with that combination of hungry new guys and experienced veterans, this Gridlock team may be completely different down the road.
Sure, that kind of depends on Baltimore Trauma. We are one of their farm teams, so we probably will lose some players at the end of the season. We got guys we're going to be pulling up from the other team, so it's going to be a continual team. We're just going to keep it going, keep it rolling, and have a lot of fun with it and win.
So you come in from the sun and it gets hotter in here with paintball pinups. Girls in their markers, you can buy their posters for $10 or their barrel covers for $8. Not a bad deal. Big question. What do you get? Another big question. Tons of big questions coming in from you guys each week. And we're going to answer them right now. Riddle me this.
My name is Eric, and I'd like to know how to tuck in the bunkers better.
Eric, I'm Travis with Infamous, and to tuck in the bunkers better, you just got to keep tight, man. Just keep your gun and everything as small as possible. Get as low and just give your target the smallest target you can leave out there. Leave that. You don't want your opponents to be able to shoot at anything.
Dorito once. It's making me hungry, all this talk about Doritos. You know, there's nowhere on the planet that you can get all this paintball information other than right here on Paintball 2Xtremes. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll sit down with the guy who has a short name, but a long list of paintball accomplishments. Stay right there.
If you want to stay on top of the paintball scene, subscribe to Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get player interviews and tournament coverage in every issue. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine will keep you informed of the hottest players and the hottest gear. Plus, you'll get product reviews and expert tech tips in every issue. That's 12 issues of non-stop coverage for only $19.95. Call 1-800-PAINTBALL to order by phone or order online. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get in the game.
Paintball 2Xtremes is brought to you by Empire, innovation, dedication, domination. By Bob Long, creator of the legendary Intimidator and Defiant markers. And by Paintball 2Xtremes, covering the game.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Paintball 2Xtremes, the PSP Death Valley Open, the Chicago Open. All right, but it is hot. They should actually change the name from Bolingbrook to Bolingbrook. But you know, Mama Bates didn't raise no fool. Actually, she did, but that was Norman Bates' mama, not James Bates' mama. My mama said, anytime you can, go in an air-conditioned room and interview somebody. Don't do it outside in the heat. And that's where we went and talked with one of the greats. Do you like to hunt?
Oh, yeah, I'm a bow hunter, and that's where it came from. When I first started playing paintball, I went and played about 20 years ago for the first time. A friend of mine named Rick Sendeas took me in. I came from the bow hunting industry. And I went out and played. I broke a rib. This is the truth. Played with a Nelson Nell spot, 10 shots in the gun. That's all you played, and ran around, chased like a little kid. And I didn't start playing until I was 36 years old. So, you know, physically, I was a little teeny kid running around, and the second I started playing, I became a little teeny kid again.
Favorite sport other than paintball?
I like to shoot archery a lot, you know, so I do shoot archery. I like to go fishing and outdoors in the woods and stuff like that. I like to just disappear and do that kind of stuff. I just took up golf, and we'll see what happens there.
Favorite movie?
Oh, Cut and Dry. Paint Your Wagon. Cut and Dry. I think it was one of, and it's a musical too. And a lot of people go, Paint Your Wagon, what are you talking about? You know, I physically have that tape in, you know, my car that I drive with because it calms me down. It was a very relaxing, funny. It had Lee Marvin, stuff like that in it. And those are the old timers, the guys that really knew how to act.
And it has paint.
And it's paint. Never thought of that.
Favorite color paint?
It was the pink Hellfire, and they stopped making it. And it was purple. It was a purple shell with a super, super pink fill. It was killer. You couldn't see it flying through the air, and nobody could get it off.
I love
but
it.
They
the Iron
it.
Man likes Paint Your Wagon in pink purple paint.
That was fun. Bob had so many great stories and opinions that we're going to have him back for round 2 of the Line of Fire questioning. But for now, James is swapping his lounge act to go to the sidelines for some more Division I XBall action.
All right, Doc's Raiders on the right from Jacksonville, and on the left, these guys look familiar. Well, Jen profiled them earlier in the show. It's Gridlock. And here we go. On with the finals of Division I XBall here in Chicago, the PSP Open.
Real normal XBall breakout from both sides. Nothing too aggressive, but lots of paint flying in the air. But he's got their guns up off the break. Nobody was running with their heads down. Normal Division I breakout.
And our first look here on Paintball 2Xtremes this year of XBall action. Rules a little bit different than the 5-man game that we saw last week, right, Ryan?
The main differences between XBall and 5-man, in XBall, you play a match, so there's several games inside of 2 16-minute halves. So the game never really stops. The guys are going, going, going. If you lose 1 point, you get to come back and try it again, just like we're seeing here. Looks like the Doc's Raiders are running down the field on these guys. But for Gridlock, this doesn't put them out of the match. They get lots more chances to score points. Also, one of the other main differences is the guns. The guns in XBall are all full auto. These guys pulled the trigger 3 times and the guns are going crazy.
Well, the boys from the Sunshine State went crazy in game 1. It's 1-0 right now in the finals here at Division I XBall. But it doesn't stop there. It's a deep breath and rope-a-dope, ding-ding, round 2, game on. There's Gridlock on the left, getting ready to roll, trying to get their first point here. And from Jacksonville, Doc's Raiders.
Doc's Raiders have had to play a bunch of matches to fight their way out of the loser's bracket to play in this final match against Gridlock.
Lost to Hogan's Alley early, sent them to the loser's bracket, but they've been strong ever since then. Greensboro, North Carolina boys. Gridlock trying to do some damage now.
Gridlock's squad that game had a very, very weak breakout. I would be very surprised if they can pull this one out.
At what point can the Raiders tell what kind of breakout they had and how does that affect their scheme?
Honestly, you don't know. When you're breaking out in XBall, it's kind of a predetermined breakout. So you just do it. Even if you're sweet spotting a lane and the guy doesn't run through it, you're already kind of locked into that. So you really don't. It's just like any other sport, like football, where you have a predetermined strategy. You call the right defense, hoping it's right.
All right, and then sometimes mid-play you go and you adjust and try to make things happen, and that's what the Doc's Raiders are doing right now, making it happen. And speaking of making it happen, Gridlock trying to move up into the snake.
I'm not sure about that move. Your buddy over there in the Doritos, he's not able to see the whole field. You move from a bunker where you can see the whole field into a bunker where you're now in your face 2-on-1.
And we've got the bird's eye view of that snake. Gridlock and Doc's Raiders. Doc's Raiders a team that prides itself on staying in school and staying out of trouble. A lot of these teams here trade 1 for 1, and well, that's all you need though if you're a Doc's Raider, is one guy left, and that's 1 more point. So with that, they'll grab the flag, take it down and hang it, and now it's 2-0 for Doc's Raiders. When we come back later on Paintball 2Xtremes, it's more Division I XBall.
In case you missed our not-so-subtle comments, it's hot here in Chicago. And with this sweltering heat, people getting roasty and toasty, the on-site medical staff is on hand to help the overheated and underprotected fans and players. I had to ask just how they get through the day.
Lots and lots of water.
Water. Drinking lots of water.
Water. It's awesome. That's it. Don't drink soda either.
You got that, everyone? Don't drink soda.
Water.
I said give me a good answer. Tell me in French.
On boit beaucoup d'eau. We're drinking water. That's the way. That's our way.
That is sexy.
Sure, snow cones topped with beer. Water.
As minimal clothing as possible, right?
Yeah, that as well.
I got a shirt on my head.
Trying to wear really lightweight clothes.
I'd prefer to be naked, but, you know, I'm doing the best I can.
I'm going to be naked in about 5 seconds.
How do you stay cool in the warm weather, baby? She said lost signal.
Shade. I didn't know shade was a 2-syllable word.
Cool. We ain't staying cool. It's hot out here.
Tell me, how do you stay cool in the hot weather?
Well, see, that's one way you stay cool is water dehydration. Because, baby, I'm telling you one thing, this heat ain't no joke, baby. This heat will burn you up. You got to stay cool.
It's a cruel, cruel summer, leaving me here on my own.
Oh, hey, sorry, I was just singing Bananarama and cooling off in the national tent. I'm a big fan of fans, and I'm a big fan of Paintball 2Xtremes, not only a TV show, but the magazine, covering all the teams from all across the United States and really the world. In the October issue, there's plenty of game coverage from the MPPL, the CFOA, and the International Amateur Open, as well as the Hatfields versus McCoy's scenario game. Get your issue today.
to stay on top of the paintball scene, subscribe to Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get player interviews and tournament coverage in every issue. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine will keep you informed of the hottest players and the hottest gear. Plus, you'll get product reviews and expert tech tips in every issue. That's 12 issues of non-stop coverage for only $19.95. Call 1-800-PAINTBALL to order by phone or order online. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get in the game.
Well, hey there, paintball family, friends, and fans. Welcome back to the Chicago Open and Paintball 2 Extreme. Oh my gosh, look at this. Right here at the Bolingbrook Recreation and Aquatic Center, the aquatic end of things. Forget paintball for a couple minutes. I got to get over there at some point and cool off a little bit. Well, back to the paintball, because that's what we're about, and they're not cooling off. They're heating up in Division I XBall. Let's go check out some more action. Just like fellow Jacksonville native Fred Durst, the boys from Jayville, Docks Raiders, are rolling, rolling, rolling. There they are on the left-hand side, and on the right is Gridlock. Here we go, the second half play now, Division I XBall, the finals here at the Chicago PSP Open.
Very good breakout we just saw from the Docks Raiders, pushing the snake side, kind of leaving those Dorito side open so they can keep dumping bodies into the snake, and doesn't seem like it's working in their favor that time.
Sending bodies up to the X already on the break, too. We talked about it earlier. Predetermined breakout, where you're going to go, and changing things up a little bit strategy-wise anyway here in the second half.
The Gridlock guys are running all over the place now.
Is that what you have to do when you're down 4-0 in the final?
Absolutely. You just want to keep going, keep the guns rolling, try to get up and get some momentum going for your squad. And it looks like that's what these guys just did.
Yes, sir. How about it? The ambush. There you go. So putting some points on the board. Gridlock. And now we move on to the second game here in the second half. It's 4-1, Docks Raiders. And the momentum right now on the guys with the red jerseys. Right there from Greensboro, North Carolina, Gridlock.
Gridlock going back to that same style of breakout that they had in the first half that did not work out well for him. Already losing a body there. Looks like he may have been shot as well.
Checking himself. Referee comes over to check him and sending him out. Didn't see a lot of paint, but I think they both agreed somebody got hit right there.
Doesn't really make much sense to me. I don't know why Gridlock would do that after super first game to start out the second half with a good, strong breakout, stacking bodies over on that Dorito side. That time just gave up, it looked like.
Oh, the Raiders stacking the bodies back in the box. When we come back later in the show, we'll see who takes these finals.
Are you ready for the exciting finale for the duel in Division I? I, for one, am looking forward to find out who will emerge as #1. And I bet I'm not the only one. Well, with all this one in mind, it must be time for the 1-minute review.
Hi, I'm here to introduce the PBX MQ valve. The MQ valve represents the latest innovation in paintball technology. It's an electronic main firing valve that doesn't require an industrial solenoid to activate either a hammer or a spool. It's one of a kind right now. Currently, we're platforming the MQ valve on autococking markers such as War Games Autococker. And it is our hope that the autococker will once again be considered the top marker in the tournament scene. For example, I'd like to showcase to you exactly how an MQ'd autococker would differ from a conventional autococker. When fired, the bolt will actuate back and forth, whereas an MQ'd autococker, when fired, it can fire without the bolt actuating back and forth. With the MQ valve being platformed not just on the autocockers, but other markers in the tournament scene today, you should be able to see faster rates of fire, more stability, and more air efficiency in all these markers, and hopefully taking paintball markers onto the next level.
So, yeah, maybe it's a little bit selfish, but I think I'll let Jen carry the load over to the XBall field for a while I cool off on the water slide. She always gets all the cushy jobs anyway. So I'm going to take a dip here, and when we come back, we'll check out those finals.
want to stay on top of the paintball scene, subscribe to Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get player interviews and tournament coverage in every issue. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine will keep you informed of the hottest players and the hottest gear. Plus, you'll get product reviews and expert tech tips in every issue. That's 12 issues of non-stop coverage for only $19.95. Call 1-800-PAINTBALL to order by phone or order online. Paintball 2Xtremes magazine. Get in the game.
Paintball 2Xtremes is brought to you by National Paintball Supply, #1 supplier to the #1 extreme sport. By Diablo, play with fire. And by Paintball 2Xtremes, covering the game.
Hey, welcome back to Paintball 2Xtremes. It was fun sliding, but I gotta get back to work. Gotta go back and call the finals. Got some big ones coming up. Now, we've already crowned some champions in Pomona and Orlando, X Factor and Jack's Warriors. We're about to crown a big one here at the PSP Chicago Open. Before we get to the action, let's check out some highlights. What do you think?
All right, I made it just in time. Here we go. Trying to wrap up these finals now. Gridlock down by a score of 8-1. We saw the one win earlier against Doc's Raiders, and it's been all Doc's Raiders all day long, and it stays that way, Ryan. Gridlock already going back to the box.
I don't know what's going on with the Gridlock guys. They won that 1 point, super aggressive on that Dorito side. Still just giving up on it now. Trying to take some crazy ground off the break. Lost a guy silly. Doc's Raiders in total control right now.
They have been all day long. The boys in the black and silver came strong here to Chicago, braving the heat. Very hot day, and maybe that's helping them out, doing all that training back on Jacksonville Beach. It gets pretty hot in Florida this time of year, and so hot up here at the PSP Chicago Open.
We have a towel thrown by the Gridlock coach.
Referee telling the last Gridlock player standing that it's over. As they say in Rocky, throw the towel. Well, they threw the towel, so 9-1 now for the Doc's Raiders. And one more shot at Gridlock, trying to put some more points on the board, staring down the barrel of some fired up Raiders. They should be. 9-1. They're kicking some butt here in Chicago, Ryan.
I definitely thought this game would have went a little differently with the amount of games that Doc's Raiders had to play, but I guess the amount of games they had to play gave them a lot more game plans.
Well, there's some paint on the calf right there. One of the players, he goes back.
Looks like Gridlock's going to try to put one in the bag at the end of the game here.
And you can use this, even though you're probably out of the contention to win that championship, you can use it almost as a very good practice, can't you?
Second place in Division I is a very, very strong finish. Gridlock has nothing to be ashamed of. They just came in and got outplayed.
Well, one more to the pack of Kyle Stahl. He'll go back, and well, Gridlock will hang one. So 1 point, but it's the Raiders on top, and they're with Jen.
You guys shut down Gridlock in the first half. How'd you even get away with 2 points for them?
We just came out and played our hardest, and we had a lot of heart. We just played harder than they did.
A lot of teamwork.
So, yeah, a lot of teamwork.
How excited are you right now?
I'm really excited.
Congratulations.
Hey, what are you kidding? You thought I was going to stay over there at the XBall fields all day long? Shoot, while Jay was interviewing the winners, I snuck back over, and this is where I'm going to stay for the rest of the day anyway, because that does it for this Paintball 2Xtremes. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Show number 2 of the PSP Chicago Open. Show number 3 is next week. Hey! XBall Open Division. They're splashing me, so I'm going to get going for Jen Pierce. I'm James Pitt.